Presenting Donald Flash. Once again, I'm sorry you guys all had to see that. That's my little intro here. But uh, if you guys are wondering which song that is, by the way, that's Sunshine, my second song I've ever produced. You can find it on my YouTube channel. Again, it's Sunshine, my second song ever produced. You can find it on my YouTube channel, the full, if you want to hear the full song. Now I'm gonna try not to keep this intro too long because we are at work and the cleaners will be leaving soon. So I'm trying to wrap this up before the cleaners leave because I don't want them walking in on me talking to my laptop. But what's up, everyone? It's your boy Don Flash. For those of you that don't know who I am, I'm an aspiring music producer slash DJ slash graphic designer slash internet marketer slash actor slash comedian slash entrepreneur slash investor slash real estate agent slash pretty much I just want to be really rich one day and work for myself, so I don't gotta go work for anyone else. But for now, we gotta keep this job until that happens. But anyway, enough about me and who I am. Today we aired the 13th episode of the Dawn Flash Show. Now, what we have scheduled for you is the same thing we did on episodes 11 and 12. We're going to be taking a look at some more ridiculous news stories. And as usual, you guys can let me know in the comments below whether you think they're ridiculous, odd, funny, or weird. I personally think a lot of them are a little bit of all, but I'd like to hear your opinions in the comments or the chat below. Now, I am using the same news websites I used in the last two episodes. It's globalnews.ca and the torontosun.com. I've left the links to both of the websites at the bottom of the description where you can find the page where I find these articles at if you don't believe they're real yourself or if you just want to check them out yourself. Now, a quick disclaimer because I must say this. I'm reading these to you for entertainment purposes only, and I don't own any of the rights to any of these articles you're about to hear, and what's it called? And I do not want or intend on taking any credit for any of the material you're about to hear. I'm just gonna pull up what I wrote down just so it's much easier. And all credit should be given to globalnews.ca and to torontosun.com. I know a couple of episodes back I did get a copy strike for playing a song that wasn't my own song in that little karaoke segment that I had going for a bit. I don't know if I'm gonna bring those segments back on. I'll decide. You guys can tell me whether or not you want them on or not. But yeah. Anyway, so let's get right into it. So let's start off with our first news article right now. I'm just gonna have some of this apple cinnamon Tim Hortons tea out of my Starbucks cup. If you're wondering how that I managed to pull that off, I stole the tea bag for that. Okay, so our first news article is elderly man pepper sprayed after dog peed on neighbor's lawn. Police. And this was posted May 31st, 2017 at 9:25 p.m. So this article is almost 5 years old. And this is in New York for some reason. I guess Canada doesn't have much news to tell, so we steal some of America's news. But I'm going to try to keep my comments for the very end. A man in New York has been arrested after pepper spraying his elderly neighbor over the victim's dog urinating on the suspect's lawn, according to Long Island police. Detectives say David Lichtiger went over to his neighbor's home late Tuesday night and began banging on the door when 75-year-old Alan Wharton answered the door. He was pepper sprayed. I opened up the door and I said, "What can I do for you?" Next thing I know, he's cursing me out, and I said, enough. Okay, I said. Please do me a favor, go home, Wharton told WCBS 880 in New York. In all honesty, to be fair, your dog. I'm not saying this was okay or anything, but your dog peed on his lawn. You could have been a little bit more sensitive to the matter. Next thing I know, he pushes. Next thing I know, he pushes something in my face and sprays something in my face. At that point, I just closed the door and ran to the sink because it was burning like crazy. The retired school teacher explained. That was a tweet, I guess. I don't know if it's big letters. I'm guessing it's a tweet. This is reportedly just the latest incident in a long-running feud between the neighbors. Okay, so this isn't the first time they've been arguing, based on what they're saying. I hope they're still not arguing up to today, because this is almost 5 years old. This article. The elderly man says the two tussled last summer after his neighbors threw tomatoes at him and rocks at his dog. So he threw tomatoes and rocks at it. Okay, the rocks part, that's a little bit harsh, but I find the tomatoes part funny. I am not fucking with you. This is actually shit in the article. He attacked me and kicked me, and I punched him in the face to defend myself, he said. Okay, that's fair enough, because he did start attacking and kicking him. Like, that was a little bit uncalled for. Because, I mean, it is an old man after all. But, like, at the same time, the old man should have better control of his dog, if you know what I'm saying. Like, make your dog pee on the sidewalk. Don't make it pee on people's property. Like, when I owned a German Shepherd, I would make sure my German Shepherd takes shit and walk her city grass. I wouldn't let him, like, hurt her because it was like her take pisses and shit on people's property. I would pull her away and tell her, no, not on people's property, that kind of stuff. But I guess you can't expect everyone to, like, think like that. Lichtiger was arraigned. I think that's how you pronounce it. Spelled Arraigned. That's Arraigned on second-degree assault charges Wednesday. That's the end of that article. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Whether you think that article is ridiculous, odd, funny, or weird. I think it's a little bit of both ridiculous and funny at the same time. The funny part where you threw tomatoes at the old man. The rocks part of the dog, that was a little bit harsh because the dog's a dog. Dog doesn't really know better. The old man should know better than like letting his dog people's property and stuff. But the dog, you can't blame the dog for the dog being a dog. But anyway, that's the end of our first article right there. Let us know in the comments what you think about that article, and moving on to our second article now. By the way, that article was courtesy of globalnews.ca. Again, that's globalnews.ca. Well, you have to confirm your age for this one. You'll see why in a second, but I didn't know like they're starting to do that with articles too. Like, I know a porn website it makes sense with porn websites, but why would just a regular news article? What? Oh no, they want my date of birth. Okay, no, yeah, I was not born today or yesterday. I was born the 8th of March, 1997. Yes, I'm 25 years old. I remember the good old days where I had to lie about my age to get into stuff like this. Now I can just put in my real age, but it doesn't matter. So you're gonna find out why they want people to be 19 and over in order to view this article. Um, this next article is called "Kids." This article is also courtesy of globalnews.ca, by the way, but I'll save that for the end. This next article is called "Kids Use Clothing Store." Kids used clothing store. So a kids used no, not kids using clothing, but a kids used clothing store gets massive marijuana donation. Yes, you heard that right. Kids used clothing store gets massive marijuana donation. So not just a regular thrift store, but a kids used clothing store. And this was also posted May 22nd, 2017 at 11:59 a.m. It was last updated May 22nd, 2017 at 12:02 p.m. So I don't know why they would need to update it 3 minutes later, but I didn't write the article, so I wouldn't know. So this article is almost 5 years old, also illegal in Canada too. Oh no, this takes place in the States, so this doesn't even. Okay, Maplewood, Minnesota. Someone apparently inadvertently donated more than 100 grams. So that's almost a quarter pound, by the way, in case you're wondering. A quarter pound is worth well, if you're a supplier, you could get it for 400, but if you're buying it to smoke, you got to pay like at least 800 for that shit. So Maplewood, Minnesota. Someone apparently inadvertently donated more than 100 grams of marijuana when they dropped off some used children's clothes, a suburban Minneapolis shop. Okay, whoever wrote this needs to work on their grammar, just saying. But I'm gonna save my comments for the very end. The Maplewood Police put the Maplewood Police Department posted a photo on Facebook of the surprise donation to the Once Upon a Child store with an invitation to the owner to come in and claim it. Yeah, like he's gonna do that after the police make that post. Watch the political challenges of legalizing marijuana. I don't think that's a part of the article. Not surprisingly, no one has come forward yet. Obviously, no one wants to get arrested for that shit. The drug was divided up into dozens of little plastic bags. Police Chief Paul Schnell says because it was packaged for distribution or sale. Its owner, if identified, could face a felony charge that would carry a sentence of more than a year in jail. Do you really think someone's going to show up after you post this on the news? I don't like unless the end of that article. Yeah, unless they're stupid or they've been smoking too much of the stuff themselves, they're not showing up after hearing that. And weed doesn't even make you that stupid. You have to be smoking like something like crack or crystal meth, like that guy 2 episodes ago who called the police over fake meth when it wasn't even real meth. He was just highly addicted to it or highly immune to it. But yeah, that's the end of our second news article here. That news article was also courtesy of globalnews.ca, so those last two articles were courtesy of globalnews.ca. Let me know in the comments below what you think of both articles. Do you think they were ridiculous, odd, funny, weird? I think this last one was a combination of odd and funny. It wasn't really ridiculous or weird. Well, I guess you could say it was kind of weird too, depending on how you look at it. But I think it's ridiculous and odd, and kind of funny at the same. Okay, I guess it's a little bit of all. But let me know what you think in the comments below about the last two articles we read. Now that was the end of our second news article. Like I said, both news articles were courtesy of globalnews.ca, so all credit should go to globalnews.ca. Moving on to our third article now. I think it's going to be also funny too. Oh, also, just to let you know, the cleaners might be leaving soon, so I might have to stop and restart. Hopefully, that doesn't happen. I'm going to try and read this one as fast as possible, and then after that, chances are the cleaners will be coming in, so I should stop reading and just wait. You get the idea here. Okay. Assistant principal fired after reading children's book to children. Okay, that sounds straight up stupid if you ask me. I'll read it once more in case you don't believe your ears, but assistant principal fired after reading children's book to children. This was posted March 10th, 2022, and so literally like 13 days ago, less than 2 weeks ago. And this is also something that happened in America. Who would figure? It's in Southern America too, where the stupid people are, where they say the stupidest people tend to live. At least that's what I would think of. I'm not really sure about the American stereotypes in all honesty, so don't quote me on that. An assistant principal of Mississippi was fired for reading a book called "I Need a New Butt" to second graders. Okay, first of all, "butt" is not is not a swear word or a curse word or an inappropriate word. It's literally the medical term for your behind. Like I don't like people make too big a deal over shit now. Toby Price worked at Gary Road Elementary School in Jackson, and he was tasked with setting up a virtual call with the second grade classes and a principal from another school. And when she didn't show, he had to improvise. I grabbed one of my books that I had nearby. I read it to them, Price explained to WLBT. It's a funny, silly book. Yeah, I'll say. The book follows a young boy who realizes his butt has a huge crack. Okay, I can kind of see why. I can kind of see why they would fire him for this, but like, I mean, in my opinion, that doesn't sound inappropriate because it's not like they're using swear words, or it's not like they're talking about sexual parts or anything like that. But anyway, I'll save my comments for the end, like I promised. So I'll just reread that last one. The book follows a young boy who realizes his butt has a huge crack, so he sets off to find a new one, according to the description on Amazon. Well, you can find this book on Amazon in case you're interested in getting it yourself. I might do some shopping after this. Who knows? Price said he had read the book at other school districts previously and never received one complaint about the book aimed at children ages 6 to 10. Yeah, it's aimed at children ages 6 to 10. Go sue the author. Don't fire the man over an innocent mistake. I didn't think twice about reading it because I've never had an issue with it before, he said. Oh, I should be speaking in my normal voice. There are other books that have much more suggestive material that are much more widely accepted, which I totally agree with. Price's termination letter from the superintendent of the Hinds County School District stated he showed a lack of professionalism and impaired judgment by selecting the cheeky book, one in a series of butt paperbacks from author Don McMillan. Also, this book is a part of a series. Okay, I might actually go do some shopping afterwards. Fucking fight. Okay. I just think that this was a pretty harsh reaction. He told the news outlet. I've been in education for 20 years. I've never had a disciplinary anything put in my file, not even for being late. So I was blown away. Okay, you could have at least given the guy a warning. Like, come on. Price is hoping the decision is overturned and he gets his job back so he can teach others that funny books are needed in education, which I completely agree with. We're raising our kids too stuck up nowadays, I find. If you don't let kids see funny and silly books, oh, sorry. If you don't let kids see funny and silly books,
how's it going, man?
Say no. How about you?
Pretty good, I guess. How's knee today?
It's getting better.
Getting better? Did you get surgery done on there or something?
Nah, the doctor just told me to take it easy. That's why I had the crutches.
Oh, okay. Fair enough, man. Don't want to mess it up any more than what it is, right?
Definitely not.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Okay, since we're pretty much at the end of the article there, I'm just gonna finish off that paragraph. If you don't let kids see funny and silly books, they're not going to stick around long enough to find out that books. If you don't let kids see funny and silly books, they're not going to stick around long enough to find out that books can be other things than funny and silly, said Price. You have to hook them with the funny and silly stuff. And that's what I've always done. That's what this book was for. Which I completely agree with if you ask me. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, the crack part, that part was probably unnecessary. Like, you didn't have to get into so much detail there, but like, it's not like they're talking about sexual parts or anything like that. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you agree with Mr. Price? Do you agree with the school board? Do you think this article is odd, weird, funny, stupid, ridiculous? I think it was a little bit of odd and funny at the same time, and kind of stupid for them firing him. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments or the chat below. And that article is courtesy of the TorontoSun.com. Again, that's the TorontoSun.com. I've left a link to both the globalnews.ca and TorontoSun.com on the pages where I find all four of these articles, in case you don't believe they're actual articles, or in case you just want to check them out yourself. I'm moving on to our fourth article. I think I hear someone coming, so we're just gonna hold up. That's good tea. Maybe I should just pull up the camera instead of guessing. Full screen this motherfucker. Okay, no one's coming right now. It keeps opening. Why? Yo, I swear there's a ghost in here. The elevator just opens 3 times on the road. Oh, listen, I missed the person that walked in. Okay. All right. So, fuck. Okay, this thing's seriously. Okay, so our last news article was posted on March 9th, 2022. Again, that's March 9th, 2022. So literally exactly 2 weeks ago today. And this article is called. It's another American article, so pretty much I took these off of Canadian news sites, but they all tend to take place in America. So I guess in Canada everyone is perfect or some shit like that, or we just don't got news in Canada. I guess the stereotype really is true. But yeah, this article is called "Man Urinates on NYC," so New York City subway train. Most passengers barely react. I guessing this is something that has if no one really react. I doesn't, or maybe they were just being polite. I don't even know. And the New York City subway trains look a lot like Canada. No, actually, no, they don't. They have a lot of variation. Heavy rains recently flooded some subway entrances in both Toronto and New York City, but another type of unwelcome liquid recently got all over a subway train in Brooklyn. I'll say. And I haven't lived in Toronto for almost a year now, so I didn't even know that the subway entrances were flooded in Toronto. And even though Toronto had heavy rains, to be honest. Fuck off. Stupid fuck. A man was seen urinating on a train passing through the I think that's like Borough. Again, that's Borough. I don't live in New York, so I don't know how to pronounce that word. The borough on Tuesday night. Subway riders there who have seen it all apparently barely reacted. A few moved away. Well, if they've seen it all, I bet you that's nothing really big. The man allegedly relieved himself while lying down on a bench seat in front of 10 people around 6:15 p.m. A witness told the New York Post. Hey, maybe he just couldn't hold it in longer. I don't know. 3 passengers moved out of the way. Several, not quite as close, remained seated. I mean, like if it's not touching them, I don't see why they should leave their seats. The people on the sides, they paid no attention, said Stefano Giovannini, a freelance post photographer. Nobody said anything. After doing the deed, the man zipped back up and went back to sleep. What? Okay, so he unzipped just to fucking do this. So he literally did it on purpose. It's not like he couldn't hold it in any longer. He literally did this on purpose. At least that's what I'm interpreting for this. But after doing the deed, the man zipped back up and went back to sleep. Well, if he's a homeless man, to be fair, he's already lost everything, so there's nothing much more to lose. But that's the end of that news article. Again, that news article was also courtesy of the Toronto Sun. So those last 2 news articles were courtesy of the Toronto Sun. So our first 2 were courtesy of globalnews.ca. Our last 2 were courtesy of the torontosun.com. I've left links in the description to a page where I found to both pages where I found all 4 articles. If you want to check them out yourself, or if you don't believe they're actual news articles, feel free to go check them. Let me know what you think in the comments below or in the chat. Do you think that last news article was funny, weird, odd, ridiculous, stupid? I think this last news article was a little bit funny and a little bit odd at the same time, but I'd like to know what you think in the comments below. Now, we are approaching the half an hour mark, and I am trying to keep this between 22 and 26 minutes long, and I do want to wrap this up before the last set of cleaners come in and turn in their keys. So I'm going to pretty much end this right here. That was our episode 13 of the Dog Flash Show. Thank you to everyone that showed up. There's pretty much nobody, but that's okay. You got to start from somewhere, right? But anyway, I am getting sidetracked here. So like I said, let me know what you think about those news articles in the comments or the chat below. Do you think they're weird, odd, funny, stupid, crazy, ridiculous, or whatever word you could come up with? I personally, I think they all had a little bit of weird and funny to them, but like I said, I'd like to know what you think in the comments or the chat below, and I feel like I'm just repeating myself at this point. As usual, my name is Don Flash, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Don Flash Show, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out, everyone. We're just gonna cue up the outro music here. Peace out, everyone.